What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today we're going to show you how to break down a pond in the springtime. So today we're actually in South Carolina. I came down here for the Bassmaster Classic, but we had some downtime to where we were able to get out and fish a local farm pond. Now, we don't have a ton of time this morning. We have about 2 hours before we actually have to go to the convention center. So I'm gonna show you guys how I go about, breaking down a pond in a short amount of time and in the spring. So from the outside looking in, I can already tell that this pond is not very deep and it's very, very muddy. We're on a cow farm, as you guys can hear or see the cows. So I'm going to go about fishing this pond in the easiest way possible, and that's by using moving baits. I'm going to use either a chatterbait, a spinnerbait, or maybe a lipless crank. In the spring, bass are trying to feed, they're getting ready for spawn. So a great way to get on a good bite is to just cover water and fish a moving bait. I only have about 2 hours. I don't have a ton of time. If I were to sit down and flip a jig, I wouldn't be able to cover as much water versus me throwing something like a spinnerbait. Now, I took a travel box here with me today. Unfortunately, I don't have the best color options, but we don't have bad ones. So today, it kind of looks like we're gonna be stuck with white and chartreuse, which is perfectly fine. I don't mind throwing white in murky water, but I do wish I had maybe like black and blue or purple, something like that. A little darker contrast in murky water tends to help, but the one thing that we have in common with all of these baits is going to be vibration and noise. As you guys can hear with a lipless crank, you got rattles. Chatterbait, you got the vibrating blade, and then a spinnerbait. I put a Colorado blade on here. Actually, it originally was a willow blade, but I added Colorado blade on there to give it more thump. So we're gonna get rigged up. We're gonna make our way down to the pond. I'll explain to you guys everything that we're doing and a little bit of tips about each bait as I fish them. But that's what we're doing today. We're gonna go fishing and we're gonna try and get on a spring bite. Alrighty, so we made it down by the pond. I'm gonna start off with a spinnerbait. Personally, I love fishing ponds with a spinnerbait, especially in the springtime. I like to tip it with a paddle tail swim bait. Right here, I got the 3-inch Biospawn Exo Swim on here. And this was originally a willow blade spinnerbait, but I swapped out one of the willow blades with a Colorado blade. I like to just fish Colorados this time of year for the reason being that it gives more thump. It allows me to slow that bait down a little bit. If you guys only have a willow blade, that'll work fine. But if you have the opportunity to slow things down a little bit, I would try to do it. Murky water like this, just making as much noise, kind of creating a thump, is gonna really let those fish know you're there. These fish aren't exactly going to be able to see very well because of the watercolor, so they're gonna be sensing more than they're seeing, but their lateral lines should allow them to really track down this bait and get it. So we're gonna try and get this guy out there and see if we can't get on a bite. Ooh, it's muddy. Good thing we got boots on today. Spinnerbait looks good. It should get chomped. Just a matter of time. There's one. There's a fish. Right off that stump. There we go. Boom. Not bad. All right. Spinnerbait. Little guy, but it's a fish. We're on the board. So, first fish of the day. Here we go. I was actually just considering changing over. I was gonna throw on a chatterbait. It's very, very shallow in this portion of the lake, which is fine to be throwing spinnerbait, but I kind of wanted to throw a chatterbait with a crawl trailer on it, try and be able to like jig a little bit as well as cover some water. I'm having a couple issues with this particular spinnerbait. It could be because I put the Colorado blade on there, and I'm not exactly sure. I've also caught quite a few fish on it, so the wire could just be shot, but it's spinning around a lot, which is not exactly giving me what I want here. Clearly it's still working fine, but we're gonna keep playing with it. Sometimes when you bend the wire in, it fixes things, so it's just not running consistent. There's one, there's another one. Okay. Another little guy. We might be onto something here. All right. Look how he choked this thing. So for those of you wondering, you know, because this might come up as you're watching this, if I fish a trailer hook with my spinnerbait, whenever I put a trailer on there like that paddle tail, this is what I say. You guys see how it ate that spinnerbait? I don't ever really fish a trailer hook with a paddle tail swim bait because sometimes it messes with the action, but also like if the fish are feeding and they want that spinnerbait, they're gonna eat it. If I'm fishing just a spinnerbait by itself, then I will use it. But guys, have you ever seen a fish choke a spinnerbait like that? My golly. Yep. That is a good start. Means they're gonna be munching. Oh, not a bad start. Good stuff. I think they're gonna be schooled up in that over there. There we go, another one. Yep. Yep, back to back. There we go. That's a good one.
Oh my gosh, I was just back there. I land him.
Oh no, I just broke off, dude. Yeah.
That was like a 4-pounder.
It was stuck on another person's line.
That was like a 4-pounder.
Yeah, it was. Alrighty, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna change it up. I actually brought a chatterbait in my pocket just to throw something a little bit different. Now, I have something a little bit unique on here. Not exactly my main pick of choice, but I think it'll work just fine. So right here we got a Z-Man chatterbait. It's a chartreuse in white, and I didn't have really any ideal trailers. I guess I could throw that white Biospawn Extra Swim on there, but you know, I'm gonna throw a 𝗙cie𝗶𝗶 on there. I want to get a little more flutter, and I kind of want to change things up a little bit. Now I have a black and blue craw here because that's what I packed with me. It's going to give it a little more contrast. Again, it's not like something I would typically, you know, choose to pair with a white chatterbait. I tend to like to color match my stuffs, but we're going to go ahead and tie this guy on and see how it works. Alrighty, so it was quick, very short-lived. We only had about an hour and a half out here. I can't even say I fished for a full hour by the time, you know, I got rigged up and got out there, but I got 2 on the spinnerbait, so I'd say it was a success. I came out here planning to fish a chatterbait, spinnerbait, or lipless crank. Benny actually threw the lipless crank and caught 2 as well and lost a really, really nice one. So the potential's here. Guys, get out there in the springtime, fish a moving bait, get active. These fish are moving on into the spawn, so they are going to be eating bait fish. There's a lot of different things you can try, but those are some baits that I have found to just cover a lot of water and really catch fish. So I got to get to the Bassmaster Classic. We got to get a booth set up, but hey, if you guys are new here, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. If you guys like fishing videos or you just want to learn anything about fishing, feel free to hit that subscribe button because we got a ton of great content here on the channel. Other than that, my name's Jordan. I'm from the channel TightlineTV. Thank you guys so much for hanging out here on the Karl's channel, and I'll see you next time.